that deep discourse. And it's so interesting why Arahant Mahinda selected this important sutta, discourse to teach in Tissa. So regarding to this sutta, actually, what happened was that there was a discussion among two friends. And one have visited the Buddha, the other one has not visited the Buddha. When these two friends met each other, the friend who has not visited the Buddha asked from the friend who is going to visit the Buddha all the time, why do you go to the Buddha? Why do you go to visit the Buddha so much? And why do you have such a great confidence in the Buddha? What are the reasons for that? And then the other friend explained that, yes, I have such a great regard towards the Buddha, and I have four main reasons for that. One is that I have seen different groups of people, like people in the warrior caste, who are very intelligent, very knowledgeable. Whenever the Buddha visited their area, they usually plan to go and discuss with the Buddha, and they really want to show off that they are more intelligent than the Buddha. So therefore they plan their questions beforehand. They plan that we will ask this question first, and then the Buddha has to answer like this. Then we ask this question, then he will be in trouble. So they plan ahead all the questions, difficult questions to ask from the Buddha, and then they go to see the Buddha. But what happens when you really go to see the Buddha? When they sit in front of the Buddha, something completely different happens. When we see the Buddha, when we meet the Buddha, when the Buddha started to talk with them, they actually forget all the questions that they planned to ask. And instead, they are so impressed with the way that Buddha spoke, and then they like to hear this, listen to the teaching of Buddha at the end. Not only they don't ask their questions, they actually become disciples of the Buddha. So this friend has seen this, not one time, many times. He has seen this is happening to people in the warrior caste, this is happening to people in the Brahman caste, this happened to the people in the household community, and even other contemplatives, when they go also, these things happen. They go to debate with the Buddha and defeat the Buddha, but at the end they even don't ask the questions, they prepare ahead. That was it. So by seeing that, this friend has developed such a confidence in the Buddha, and he gave an interesting example. Just like when you want to find a bull elephant. The bull elephant is a special elephant. It's called Chulahatthipatopa. Among the elephants, there are very rare type of elephant called bull elephant. They are very tall, very wide, and it's very rare you find such an elephant. If somebody wants to find out whether there's such an elephant living in the forest, and that person will go around the forest and try to find some evidence, some signs. If that person can see a footprint of big size, and then there is a good sign that there is a good elephant in the forest. So this friend told his friend, that is how I have such a great confidence in the Buddha. Because I have seen so many people go to the Buddha to defeat him, but at the end they ended up being disciples of the Buddha. And then later, after that, this friend was listening to this discussion and developed interest in seeing the Buddha. He hasn't seen the Buddha before. He developed interest to go and see the Buddha. After some time later, he himself went to see the Buddha and explained, this is what happened. I have a friend who will come in to see you. You may not know his name, and his name is Devanampiya. I met him. And he talked about you like this. Actually, sometimes people come to see Mahinda and say that, Mahinda, I met your friend, and he's the one who asked me to come and see you. Because he told me that your blessing is so powerful. So that's why I came to see you. Something like that. So in the same way, this friend told the Buddha, I met your friend, your devotee, and he told me like that. Then Buddha said that, okay, But I think that simile that he gave is not complete. Because sometimes when you see a big footprint, it can be really large and wide, but Buddha said that there are some female elephants, very short female elephants, there's that kind of types of elephants, and they also have big wide foot. So therefore that side footprint could be one of those she elephants, the different kind. So it could be of a bull elephant, could be of a she elephant who is short, but their foot size is the same. So you should come to conclusion that there's a bull elephant but simply seeing that foot. Yet you should continue your search. When you continue your search, you will see another signs. Like you will see signs in the trees. There are signs that there are scratches very high in the trees, only a tall elephant can do. You may see the branches having broken very high, only a bull elephant can break. When you see those signs, then there's another evidence that there's a special bull elephant in this forest. The Buddha asked, a skillful elephant hunter will not come to conclusion until he himself see an actual bull elephant sitting right in the middle of the forest with his own eyes. The Buddha asked that person, do not believe just because you see a footprint that there's a bull elephant in the forest. Until you see the bull elephant with your own eyes, don't come to conclusion. So in the same way, Buddha said that if you want to develop confidence in me, just because so many people come and become disciples of me, don't believe in me. You can continue search, you can continue doing your research, and you can continue to practice what I am teaching. If you get benefit from that, then you can believe in me. So that is the summary of the Sutta. I hope that Bhante will everything of that. Okay, then now we have to think about why the Arahant Mahinda selected this Sutta to teach the King Tissa, right there. So this Sutta is telling that just because Buddha has so many disciples, don't use that as a reason to believe in the Buddha. You have to practice and experience yourself. Then only you can have confidence and real knowledge of the Buddha. So what he's actually telling, we came from Dhammananda, that's the name, all India, Dhammananda, and we were sent by Emperor Ashoka. Actually, Venerable Arahant Mahinda is telling that just because we came from this country, just because the Emperor Ashoka is a Buddhist, and don't use that reason to believe in Buddhism. Just because the Emperor is a Buddhist, just because there are so many Buddhists in the neighboring country, don't use that as a reason to believe in Buddhism. You really have to practice and experience for yourself. Then you will understand the real value. That is not the way the missionaries work. Right? The missionaries usually don't say that, okay, don't believe me, just practice first and experience, then if it works for you, then you believe. That is not the way the missionaries do. But that's what we are Arahant Mahinda did in Sri Lanka. Asking not to believe just because Buddha has so many disciples, but practice by yourself. That is a special case how Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka. So we need to understand why the Arahant Mahinda was so skillful, so compassionate, and he actually allowed the king to have freedom to accept it. This will not impose on him, and that is why it was so successful. And at the end, when the Arahant Mahinda actually decided to stay in Sri Lanka, in this island, until his passing away. After he came with those monks, he never left the island. Imagine that he is from Dhammananda, and he came all the way and to this new island, and he started to teach to this new king and this new population. And then he decided to spend his whole life. He was very young. He was very young when he came. He spent his whole life in Sri Lanka, training his disciples, particularly teaching the Tripitaka, the Suttas, Abhidhamma and Vidi. That was the best gift we had from him. And it is in Sri Lanka that the Sutta, the Tripitaka, was transcribed into palm leaves. And then still today the modern world have the gift of the Tripitaka, the teaching of the Buddha, because of that. So we have to be really grateful to Arahant. And if you want to see the stupa, he passed away in Sri Lanka. And we have a stupa in Sri Lanka where the relics of the Arahant Mahinda is enshrined. It is in eastern province, in the area called Ampara. There's an archaeological site called there's an archaeological site called Rajagalan, and there you find an ancient stupa with an inscription that the relics of the Arahant Mahinda and the second chief monk, Tissa, the relics of these both monks are enshrined with this stupa. There's an old inscription carved in stone. So he passed away in Sri Lanka, his relics was enshrined in Sri Lanka, he never left Sri Lanka, and that is why Sri Lanka became such a center of Buddhist learning and center for Thera Buddhism, and the greatest spread Buddhism all over Southeast Asia and the countries. When I was thinking about the life of Arahant Mahinda, can you guess who I remember? Our late chief, Dhammananda and Arahant. He came to a completely foreign country. In those days, when Sri Lanka was much developed, and this country was now, of course, the other way around. And he came to this country and then met this new group of people and had to struggle a lot to teach, to continue this practice. He never left Malaysia. Just like he decided to commit his whole life and to dedicate his whole life to teach and help people in Malaysia out of great compassion. Just like Arahant Mahinda had great compassion for all people in Sri Lanka, in the same way our late chief has such a great compassion for all of us. Actually, because of Arahant Mahinda, we got Buddhism in Sri Lanka and established monastic tradition in Sri Lanka, and many monks in Sri Lanka was educated. Monks traveled all over the world and spread the teaching of the Buddha. And Dhammananda and Thera also followed that same monastic lineage, and then came to Malaysia. So actually, our late chief's mission in Sri Lanka is a continuation of the mission established by Arahant Mahinda. Therefore, the full moon of Poson is a very important day for Buddhist Mahinda also. Whereas we feel grateful to Arahant Mahinda for his compassion for all people in Sri Lanka and for their Buddhism to all over the country, and especially for our late chief. Just like Arahant Mahinda, he decided not to leave Malaysia and live his whole life in this country, most of his years in his life in this country, and dedicated fully out of compassion for all beings. May our late chief attain Nirvana in the soul speech.